Hey, I've had a couple requests for this, so let's take a look at the Desmos assignment for this week. A couple things I want to say. First, I went ahead and made a document that I've attached on Echo that gives you kind of picture version of the vocabulary that was introduced on Monday. So it starts off by showing you this picture of corresponding angles. Corresponding angles, as you know, are angles that are in the same place at the top as they are at the bottom. For example, A and L, they're both colored in yellow to represent that they are corresponding angles. B and M are both orange. C and N are orange with a dot. The ones that have the same color, the same shape are corresponding. Same place, corresponding angles are always congruent. Vertical angles, just so you know, because some people got confused about this, vertical angles can exist in parallel lines or just in two lines that cross. They don't have to be set up like this to be considered vertical angles. Vertical angles do not share a side. They only share a vertex or a point. They have to share a point. So the green stars would be vertical angles. The orange dots are vertical angles, and so on. So it might be helpful when you're doing this Desmos activity to have a split screen. Have the Desmos activity open on one screen, minimize it a little bit, have it take up half your screen, and have these notes open on another one from Echo so that you can go back and forth. So let's take a look at the each question, and I'll kind of give you a little information about it. It's important that you read the directions on each screen because some directions are going to ask you to do more things than others. Here you've got a picture that looks similar to this, only the lines are a little crooked. It wants you to take this black dot and drag it to show an angle that you think is congruent to A. Well, on my paper, I see A here. It's kind of in the same spot as it is on that screen. I already know that this angle down here is congruent to A based on the notes I see. So I could drag that dot down there to show that I believe these two are congruent. But it doesn't have to just be that point. This is also congruent. This is also congruent because of the fact that these are alternate exterior. These would make the two angles vertical. These would make the angles corresponding. This, if you put it at this angle here, that's not correct. Those two angles, you can tell already by looking, they're not even the same measure. That angle opening for A is bigger than this one. So that would be a wrong answer. When you move to the next one, it's going to give you you're going to see a whole bunch of dots on this screen because that's what your classmates have answered. Here's the thing, I'm going to tell you right now, not everybody put the right answer. Pretty sure some people went ahead and just totally randomly guessed. The right answer here would be no, but when you do that, it's going to ask you to explain your thinking. I need you to tell me why some of those people might not be correct. All right, when you get to question 3, it's called challenge number 2. A lot like the first one, except it now wants you to show all the angles that are congruent to A. Well, here's a secret. If you have this document open and you go to the very last page, it gives you this hint. I show this picture. Notice I've got 4 angles that are yellow, 4 angles that are orange. Wow. The yellow angles will all have the same measure. The orange angles will all have the same measure. There are 4 angles that are the congruent here, A being one of them. So you need to drag 3 other dots to show 3 other angles that are congruent to A. Notice there are not 2 colors right next to each other. So you will not have 2 dots right next to each other on this graph. Same thing here with the challenge 3 or question number 4. Be careful here, by the way, because if you notice, A is on the left side of that first red line. B is on the right side. So you're going to have 4 different answers. Here's a hint. It's the other 4 angles you didn't choose. Now, the next few, you're going to have to do a few different things. This one, I didn't answer the question, so it's telling me I did something wrong. You need to go back and fix it if it's still telling you this. Then it'll ask you to do a reflection. There's nothing to do on that page. Here's where you actually have to start answering. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Answering some reflection questions. Vertical angles. First thing I would do is go ahead, open that notes page, and go to this part of the document where I talk about vertical angles. They're showing you the two green lines that those two are at vertical angles. Well, there are 4 pairs of vertical angles. They're showing you the 2 yellow ones. You need to drag 2 other dots to show 2 different ones on there. You can get this one wrong. That would not be good. Now, vertical angles, look here, always congruent. So hopefully you're going to pick this. Now you need to tell me why. If you watched my video or you've looked over the notes, use some math vocabulary to tell me why. A linear pair of angles. I don't really talk about this in the video, except on the bottom page of that note, there's a hint here. If angles are next to each other and form a straight line, keep in mind, what's linear mean? Yeah, linear means straight line. But they're different colors. Like these two right here, this yellow and orange, form a straight line, but they're different colors. Their measure is 180. Are these the same color? No. So they're not always going to be congruent. But don't say they're never going to be congruent, because a linear pair can be congruent if both angles are right angles or 90 degrees. Again, it's going to ask you to type. Might be a good thing to type in there. Same side interior. That is very similar to the alternate interior, but here's the thing. Alternate means, sorry, this is so sloppy. Alternate means opposite. On this screen, the green lines are on the same side, so it's not going to be these answers. Notice on the same side of mine, my angles have different markings, so they have different measures. Same side interior will never be congruent unless they're right angles. So don't put always, don't put never. Put sometimes and tell me when they might be congruent. Oh, they might be congruent if they're right angles. Alternate interior, guess what? Here are the answers. They're giving you 2 of them. You need to drag the black dots to the other 2, and tell me alternate interior angles are always congruent. Same side exterior. Alternate interior or alternate exterior is on opposite sides of this red line. Notice their green lines are here. Those would be same side. Alternate exterior are here. So move these 2 dots to the other side of the blue line, but on the outside. Again here, they will sometimes be congruent only when your angles are 90-degree angles. Guess what? Here's the answer for this one. First off, you need to drag the 2 dots to the other 2 alternate exterior angles, and exterior angles are always congruent. Corresponding angles, again, remember I keep telling you these notes are going to be helpful. Here you go. Here are all the corresponding angles. First off, they're always congruent. Next, drag 2 black dots to show 2 other pairs of corresponding angles. Finally, it's going to ask you, tell me what you learned here. If you learned that vertical angles share a dot, you're going to tell me that. If you learned, here's another place you can also tell me where you're still struggling with this. And then finally, you have one more question to answer. Here's what I will tell you on this. A big hint here is there is only one of these boxes that you are going to check. If you check more than one, you're wrong. It allows you to mess around here. If I move and these lines are no longer parallel, a lot of these get eliminated. All of them except one. So make sure you think carefully and choose wisely. I hope this helps. Send me an email or schedule an appointment or attend the live help sessions if you need them. And I will talk to you later. Bye.